my popcorn. Got my battle Debbie. Must be time for another taste test.
One of my favorite types of voyages to do in this game is an X marks the spot gold hoarder voyage. And because of that, one of the questions I get a lot is how do you find the X's so easily? How do you find them so quick? How do you not miss a dig? Most of the time, I'll miss digs every now and then, but how do I find them quickly? And I got a few tips to help some people out. So number one would be changing the red X's on the map to white. So you can see the red right here. They stand out pretty well, but I actually like when you change it to white. So go to the accessibility settings, go to high contrast X marks the spot. It's the first setting. Turn that on. And when you turn that on, the X's go from red to white. I just find it easier to see the white one, so I like using that more. They show up a little bit easier. Second one is you want to look for rocks, big land masses like rocks or pathways or big sandbars. You can have rocks on the coast are helpful too. Obviously, piers and docks can help you out. So look for little landmarks on the map that you can actually find while you're running around the island. Another very specific ones are wells. So this is Crescent Isle that has a well right here. Some other islands have wells like Wanderer's Refuge, a few others. But the wells are pretty easy landmarks to get to as well. And number one for me is these red plants. So these red plants that sit here, you definitely want to locate those because those are really good indicators on the island. You can see them really easily. So yeah, those are my tips on how to find things on the island a little bit easier. And I'll show you how I'm going to find this first one here. And just another tip as well before we jump off the boat and get started on this X is I'm going to go for the bottom X here. And you can see that bottom X is sitting right by a big rock right beside the well. If that X was actually near the well, you wouldn't see the well on the map because it blocks it. So just be aware that sometimes the X's are so big on the little mini map that they may actually block a landmark. So just because you don't see a landmark doesn't mean it's there or it's not there. You just got to look around for it. So sometimes a little bit harder to locate because it blocks landmarks with the X. But yeah, we're going to go after the bottom one here. So first of all, on most islands, what I'll do is I'll find where north is. So I look, north is straight ahead of me. Whenever you hold these maps, you're always holding them north to south. So north is always at the top. So I'm looking for the bottom one, so that's directly to the south. And first thing I would do is, again, locate that well. So the well on the map is to the right of the X. Okay, so the well's right here. And then looking at the well, to the immediate left of the well is a rock and a red plant. So red plant right here. Rock is right behind it with the moss on top. And then that X is actually down towards the big rock here with the path leading up. So if you look, you got the well. Directly next to it's the red plant on the left. And if you go down towards the coast, there's a big rock in the water and there's a path leading up to the left. So big rock in the water right here, path leading up to the left. There's our X. Just like that. All right, so that's number one. We're going to go try to find number two on the other side of the island here. Okay, so coming to the other side of the island, we now know from looking before we're on the north side of the island now. So I'm going to look at the map again. We got two X's kind of clustered together, and they're right near. You can see the top X is right on top of a rock on the coast here. So we look, try to find a rock on the coast. Okay, here's a rock right here on the coast. And it says there should be a red bush right just the right of it and behind a little bit. So again, just to the right, behind a little bit, there's a cluster of rocks and a path right here. So this is looks like this is probably going to be our spot right here. All right, so there's another chest. Fight some skellies here real quick and we'll find the other one. Okay, so after we beat those skellies from this X, the other one is basically just by this big cluster of rocks. So again, this is a perfect opportunity to see. There is a tree that you can regularly see on the map. It's leaning over towards the rocks, but you can't see the tree on the map because the X is actually blocking it. So that X might be, or must be right underneath this tree because it's blocking it. Right there. And a grog chest, of course. All right, let's go find this last one. Okay, so now I'm in the very middle of the island. Again, I know north and south, so very middle of the island. And then right in the middle of this island, this one specifically, you can see a dark green cluster, and that's this big tree right here. So I know where I am on the map because of this big tree. And then if I turn around, the X is in between me and a rock that has a red plant on it. So there's the big green cluster. Directly south is the X, and then south of that is a rock with a red plant on it. So if I just go south from here, and I'm pretty sure this is the rock right here with the red plant on it. So between me and the tree right there is that X. And basically, I just got to kind of guess. So it seems like it's almost 2/3 the way towards where this rock is. So if I go right here, generally the X's are going to be on a path. So if there is a path near you, it's probably a good place to dig. And there it is. Not always, but generally. So yeah, those are my tips for finding X's. Just because you know those tips and tricks doesn't mean you're going to find them super easy the first time you try. A lot of it is getting used to the islands, knowing where the landmarks are, seeing repetitions in the X's when they pop up. So just because you use those isn't going to mean you're going to get them first try every time. But though using those little tips and tricks there will help you out a little bit. But yeah, hope you can use those and help you find some X's a little bit quicker. Get off these islands quicker before someone comes and starts attacking your ship. See you in the next one.